I helped this sales coach who specializes in helping other people remove their limiting beliefs. I helped him remove his own, and he went from about 25, 30K a month to collecting $80,000 the very next month in cash for his sales coaching business. And even in the process, he did about 30,000 of it in one single day. The only thing that changed is we covered a few select principles that in this video we're going to cover together that allowed him to make this big jump from 30K a month to 80K the very next month. So today I'm speaking with him about how he was able to multiply his results and how you can apply the same thing to your business. What about on the business side of things? How have things been there?
Yeah, I mean, last month was pretty fucking good. Yeah. So collected 80K last month.
Okay, very cool.
I mean,
where were you at before that?
Like 25, 30.
Okay, nice.
To be honest, I didn't change anything with like my marketing or anything. It was more so just like, I don't know. I feel like this sounds weird. Maybe the fact that I've like got more like physically and mentally attractive.
Looks matching,
like,
baby. Clavicular.
Not to be like woo, but like, you know, like fucking magnetism or something. Like the fact that I'm like more attractive, like physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And it's attracted more clients.
Absolutely. Are you selling mostly women? Wink, wink.
It's a bit of a mixture, but
yeah,
you know, I'll try anything 6 times. I'll
try 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great, dude.
Like feeling that I feeling like I should have it.
Yeah.
Like the money's in somebody's pocket, it should be in mine.
Yeah.
I know how much I can help people with sales.
Yeah.
Do
you know where that comes from?
What?
The feeling that you just mentioned.
No.
There can be a few different areas. It's usually a composite of a couple of different things. One of them is just keeping promises to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Number 2 is just improving self-talk, which you kind of covered both of those already. But then also number 3 is really like the cause of those 2 things. Right. So I think a lot of times we get stuck in the surface layer conversations of what we believe is happening, whether it be in business numbers because like content isn't hitting, or whether it be in the sales funnel, like something isn't converting well, or whether it be in our conversations, like something we're doing might be triggering some whatever. But I wonder if you remember this, and I'm sure you do. We don't have to like go too deep into the details of it, but at the root of everything that we talked about, we worked through all the surface layer problems in you and the business, etc. But then like we really got down to the very root layer, the very root cause. Do you remember what it was that was causing all those other problems?
Yeah, like not being able to love myself.
Yes, but not quite. Like there was that, but there's another principle that was pretty meta as well, which is just comfort. Just comfort. And I think a lot of people get stuck there thinking that they are doing the uncomfortable thing, but they're actually not. Let's move on to going through your funnel if you want to. You game with that? Take a look at the site, look at some things that we can improve. What do you feel like? Let's maybe take a look at then the offer stack and like the actual, not necessarily the deliverables, but the steps that somebody goes through in order to buying your stuff. So first they say your content, right? What are the main belief shifts that people have after going through your content?
When they first go through it, or
so like number 1, you said people consistently say, shoot, this guy knows his stuff after they've been watching for a while, right? So that's one belief people have. What's another one?
That their current sales process isn't enough.
Okay, good. What else?
That well, I mean, kind of all revolving around the same one. Like they're focusing on the wrong script. They're focusing on their script, not the prospects.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, those are the main ones. Just like this, like the level of sales out there.
Yep. You do also bring in usually, I think I've seen some of your content, which is you usually bring in the topic of like psychology-based sales, like understanding a way to work with the person. So I'm going to put that one down as well. Psychology-based sales.
Yeah, like how to work with the prospect, not against the prospect.
Yeah, exactly. I'll put that there. With versus against the prospect. What else? What about beliefs about money and investing themselves? Do you ever talk about that in content?
I have done on the ads that I've just filmed today.
Nice. Okay.
Because that was one of the things, like, you know, people were like already in a mentorship or whatever, talking about like that. Because obviously I've invested a shit ton. Well, from my perspective, anyways.
Sure.
To you, probably not. But
so
like,
being in a mentorship is good, but being in the wrong mentorship is worse.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or it's like you're in a mentorship, but you're still not where you want to be. And you sometimes feel, and for some reason you're feeling like a broken engine is suddenly just going to fucking restart the car.
So let's say something like feeling like, I'm writing down these notes here, but based on what I am hearing and seeing, I think this will be the next step that you go through in order to really get from that 100K or the 80K to 200K. Because more often than not, it's just not having a set of beliefs that you consistently instill in your audience, if that makes sense. Yeah. So what I would do is go to all your current and past clients, just like you already are. But instead of just asking them how long you've been following me and what was the reason that you ended up paying us, et cetera,
yeah,
ask them questions about how they believe the world works in various domains. So like when I asked you, for example, do you ever talk about money or like investing with your prospects or with your leads on socials? You want to instill a certain belief system into your followers about how money works so that when you ask them for money, you're aligned. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Short version. So maybe, there's probably a time for you even when you didn't think of investing into like a mentor as a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I first started, I was wanting all the free stuff and like thought that everybody selling something was a scam.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have that belief, chances are that some of your ideal clients probably also have that belief. They're just, that belief is kind of like this this barrier, this roadblock between them and them paying you and getting help. So how can we talk about that in content? You already know the answer, stories and all the usual pieces of content that you do. Just focus it around that belief. So what I would do, go to all your current and past clients, ask them questions about a few different domains to figure out what they believe about the world, about money, about mentorship, about sales, about this type of sales versus other types of sales versus selling styles versus like anything and everything that you can. And you don't have to do this all at once. It'd be good to do it all at once, but you can spread it out over time as well. So like ask people questions every 3 days or something, just pop a poll inside the community. If you've seen the polls that I do inside of the Game of Influence, like that's why I do them. Is that I can gather belief systems of people. So you can do it all at once or you can spread it out, but gather their belief systems, because if those are the beliefs of your current and past clients, and then there's a different set of beliefs for people who have not paid you yet, all you have to do is reconcile those beliefs and essentially just create a system in your funnel, in your DMs, in your call reviews, where you shift those common beliefs.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the like one of the tough things for me is that like my most valuable content, if you want to valuable, is like, call recordings or coaching call recordings, that sort of stuff. Right.
Okay.
However, when I'm doing that, I'm solely focused on coaching on the sales call. I'm not focused on how can I then do something here to shift the belief when I make this into content.
Have you ever tried reviewing your own calls on content?
Review my own calls on content. No, so I'm going to do that actually. That's me focus for my next couple of YouTube videos is going to be me reviewing my own sales calls, and then shifting the beliefs that way.
Perfect. Yeah. That's the way that you can do it really easily.
I'm going to do that. So I get back to England on Monday, because the reason I'm doing it is just the camera quality on this laptop is pretty shit for YouTube.
Yeah.
So when I get back home, I'm going to do that.
Nice.
Or if I can, I'm with a bunch of people, so I could borrow a like a Mac or something like that as well. Yeah. But I would know. Actually, I don't need the webcam because I've got me.
You got your DJI, right?
Yeah, I've got my Osmo thing here.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah. So I could literally do that.
Yeah. So, let's get some ideas down. So when you're reviewing a call, let's say, what is one thing that you do that other people, other sales coaches, etc., maybe disagree with?
Since technically you're not a sales coach anymore.
That's right.
So, what they disagree with,
or don't even know about.
I mean, a lot of this like covert shit.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, if you watched like the last two sales calls I sent in the Game of Influence, mate, if you watched them, it would be like a proud dad moment. Like, I'm in regression like a minute and a half into the call.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we gotta pump those numbers up. I'm in regression in like the first 15 seconds of a call. We can do it. We'll get there. All right, let's talk like regression as an example. So let's say you're reviewing your call, you just use regression. What is the big belief that we need to shift for people that would cause them to buy your stuff versus other people's stuff surrounding regression?
The big belief is that my techniques are going to be better. And like,
why? Explain
because it's going beyond just sales.
Okay. Why is that important?
Would work out like in regular conversations as well.
Okay.
Like it's not sales, it's influence.
Solid. So,
but I don't want to like completely steal your brand. You know what I mean? Like only a little bit.
You're good. You're good. Do your thing, dude. Do your thing. I'll use that little clip as content. Do your thing, dude. you steal all of my stuff. That's great. You do it. Like that's why you paid.
Yeah, man. No IP infringements over here.
Yeah, there's some people that like sue you for that shit. Anyway, so let's talk regression, and we're saying that it's a principle that works. It's not a sales principle. It's a psychological principle or like a neurochemical principle, etc. Puts somebody back into a childlike state. And so the belief, if you wanted to like sum that up so that it works with not just regression, but also a bunch of the other techniques that you use.
Yeah.
How would you sum that up? What is a belief that somebody needs to have in order to buy your stuff?
Instead of like trying your best to get the sale, having the prospect try so hard for you to let them to buy.
Okay. That's good. A little ambiguous. Let's make it more tactical, like more tangible.
I mean, getting the prospect off script.
Okay, there you go. So I know you kind of talk about that one a little bit. That's a good one. Let's try to nail down this one with regression. Regression is a
I
psychological
mean,
principle.
regression is making people more suggestible to authority.
Uh,
So I guess how to get people to be more suggestible to me as the authority.
there you go. So stop selling and start making people more susceptible to be sold or something like that. There's an angle there definitely for like psychology-based selling as opposed to whatever kind of selling. You need to get people to believe that there is a way to work with human behavior.
Oh, kind of like, you know, like what you do for don't sue us, mate. You know what you do for like marketing, like how you say like obviously like marketing's always changing. What isn't changing is human psychology. I can do that for sales. I'm like, my ticket sales industry is changing so frequently. The techniques that we use,
Absolutely.
techniques that worked a year ago, 2 years ago, don't work now. Like, have you ever heard heavy as a head that wears a crown? Yeah. What hasn't changed though is just human psychology. It's been the exact same for 200,000 years. So stop selling on tactics and start actually selling on psychology.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a big belief that you can have in your brand. So build out, obviously poll your community, get everybody to like tell you a bunch of stuff, and then just pop it into AI and say like, okay, what are the big beliefs that are recurring in here that make people want to buy my stuff, right? Another belief that I know that you will resonate with is having a coach who's actually still doing the thing and not one that stopped doing it years ago and is now just teaching people what worked for them, right?
Yeah.
So that can be another big belief. So find like 6, 7, maybe 8 of these, 6, 7, or 8 of these. Golly, my wife is a middle school teacher. I promise there's a reason. Find these and then just spam your content on it. Because when you do that and you also build that throughout the funnel, then you naturally, as soon as somebody comes into contact with you, as soon as they first see your videos, your profile, whatever, you are essentially indoctrinating them with belief systems that they need to have in order for them to come and pay you at some point, right? The speed will happen later. We can cover that in another session, but like, you know how they say identity is one of the highest forms of selling. And it's simply because identity is built off of the belief systems people have about themselves and about the world around them and how they interact with it. So that's all that you're doing. When you build out these 6 to 7 or maybe 8 beliefs, you are building their identity. And so I'll leave it with this. I think it's Dan Henry maybe that said it. He said that good marketers find their ideal audience. Great marketers create their ideal audience. So you're essentially just taking the masses, putting beliefs out there that people resonate with, and creating your ideal audience. That way you don't have to try to just like pick them out of the crowd. You literally create the crowd.